What up, y'all? Welcome back to the Insider. Today we have
Miss Pickett Panics.
she did this. We keeping this is raw and uncut, y'all. This is you remember when I mentioned life on and off the track. This is off the track.
What?
So
What's she trying to say?
this is her. This is the raw uncut, y'all. So a little bit about Azariyah Bryant herself. She is a junior here at the University of Illinois. Um, she broke the record in the what?
100 and 200.
100 and 200, y'all. Check her out. Um, yeah. So, what age did you start running? Like, how did you even get into this?
Well, I didn't first pick track when I was growing up. I wanted to be a dancer because my sister was a dancer. I have an older sister, we 8 years apart. So I looked up to everything that she did. But when I seen that dancing wasn't for me, my cousin, who was running track at the time, invited me to come to his practice. So I went out there and I just started running on the track, and the coach said, "Ooh, she fast." So you know what? Let's make this a serious thing to do. So at 7 years old, I just started running track from there.
Um, what's a little bit about like what's some of the trials you have to go through to even get to your D1 at the school, and how did you get through it? You know what I'm saying? Was it religion that was or was it your parents? What was it? Talk to me.
So when you say trial, like the challenges that I had to face in regards to like track and everything, do you want me to answer from a collegiate perspective or
Just overall, you keep tied together.
okay? From overall perspective, the main barriers that I had to go over, the main barriers that I ran into was not attaching my identity to what I do and not seeking approval from who I'm doing it for. And what I mean by that is it's easy for me to only perform to like appease my coaches or even my mom and dad. So if I don't do well, then I'll be like, oh, they might be mad at me, whatever, whatever. But if I do well, then I'll be like, okay, then they like should be like super proud of me or whatever. When whole time, especially from my parents' point, like regardless if I do good or bad, like that ain't changed. Now with coaches, sometimes like that can like differ depending on who your coach is. But that was like one thing for me. The other thing with what was the thing I said? Oh, not attaching my identity to it because it's something that I do every day and I practice like 7 days out of the week. So it's very hard to not attach yourself to it when you only like have a minimal break. So I just had to learn that, for this amount of hours, this is what I'm going to be doing with my time with track. And then after that time is done with, I can cut that off and go do other things, whether that be like my hobbies, whether that be hanging out with friends, or even if it's just downtime, like that's cool to do. But it took me a long time to get to that point because I used to always think that I just have to wake up, grind, go to sleep, wake up, grind, go to sleep. But thankfully now, especially with my faith in Christ, I learned to detach the two and be able to like balance them well.
That's great because we used to be on the same team.
Mm-hmm.
And just seeing her grow, it's amazing. Like, she'd be on the track, reading her little Bible, big Bible, reading her Bible. You feel me? Get on there and do her thing on the race. All that. She was a little antisocial, but that's the area she grew up. Yeah. Next question. Let's see. What is a typical like meet like for you day?
We can do both. So a typical week for me, let's start if I run on Saturday, starting on Thursday, I'll make sure that I'm intentional with hydration because hydration starts 72 hours and not 24. Okay. So yeah, I'll just be big on make sure I'm hydrating. And then I like to be intentional with taking in as much carbs as I can and pairing it with protein. Sleep recovery, making sure I'm going to sleep on time, stuff like that. Make sure I'm stretching, taking my multivitamins. That's what I do to prepare when I know I have a race coming up on a weekend. And the actual race day itself, I try to wake up like 3 hours or 2 hours before I start competing. And I make sure to get like a good breakfast in that's filling for me. Spend some time with the Lord. Even though like honestly, I don't just spend time in the morning with him and then I'll go about the rest of my day. I honestly try to implement him throughout the whole track meet, whether that be like before the race, 5 minutes before and then even after, just to keep me like sane. So yeah, I do that, and then go out there, run, and then once I'm done, I can have fun, eat my food, and then just relax and just support the rest of my teammates and go on with the rest of my day.
All right. Let's see. What else do y'all want to know about Bryant? I guess a lot of viewers watching, they're probably not athletes that you watch. So, what does it look like? Like, how is being a D1 athlete here? Like what's some of the pros and what's some of the cons?
Let's see. The pros are like the benefits that come with it and the things that you have access to.
Like what?
Whether that come from like a gear perspective or like when it comes to stuff that you need like to help you like with health and wellness or like mental health, like having our oh my gosh, why am I blanking out? Our sports psychologist that we can go to for free. Or like for like nutritional value, like having a nutritionist that I can easily call up to go talk to in regards to like stuff I need to cover with my health or like, you know, take up with my supplements. And then and my bodily health, having access to like massages, chiropractors, like trainers, like having all those things for free is definitely like a nice benefit. But also not to like say that like, oh, okay, like we get all this free stuff, but it makes you appreciate it more because when you don't have this, you know what I'm saying, if you're not an athlete or when you're out of season, just help you appreciate that stuff much more because you can be in a place where, man, like I do have to be paying for this. Whereas like it's given because you're in the sport. So it's like you put in this, we give you this type of thing. The cons of it is, for me personally, a con. I won't necessarily say it's a con of being an athlete, but I feel like sometimes the con is just going back to my original point. It's easy for you to attach your identity to it. So when it's like times to get out of that space, or when like your season over with, for people who do tie their identity to their sports, they don't have nothing else to do and they don't know what to do. Whereas to me, thankfully, the Lord has provided me with a community of brothers and sisters in Christ who don't play sports, or a good majority of them don't play sports. So they kind of help me to detach myself from my sport, and they help me to get involved with other extracurricular activities outside of like sports and everything. And they actually help me like to get more involved with things that's like surrounding the campus, you know? So yeah, not really a con, but yeah.
All right. And let's see. Where are you from?
I am from Cincinnati, Ohio, 3 hours away from Champaign, Illinois.
How's that area?
It's quite the. Let me not say it's quite the same. It's not the same as Champaign. Well, we in the Midwest, but growing up, I grew up in the suburbs. Pretty chill, calm, cool, collected neighborhood. Yeah, not really much.